Welcome to New York City, the city that never sleeps, where every street corner tells a story, and every skyline view leaves you breathless. From towering skyscrapers to hidden gardens, from bustling markets to quiet riverside walks, this city is more than a destination. It's an experience that awakens every sense. In this journey, we'll take you beyond the postcards and guidebooks, uncovering the hidden wonders, iconic landmarks, and secret corners that make New York truly unforgettable. Prepare to explore the city through the eyes of dreamers, artists, and adventurers who call it home. This is New York, like you've never seen it before. Alive, vibrant, and endlessly inspiring. Stay with us as we reveal the magic that makes the Big Apple one of the greatest cities in the world. New York doesn't announce itself quietly. It arrives with sound, light, motion, and an energy that can be felt before it is fully seen. From the moment the skyline appears, steel and glass rising against the sky, you understand that this is more than a city. It is a symbol of ambition, resilience, and endless possibility. At dawn, New York awakens before the sun fully rises. Trains rumble beneath the streets, delivery trucks line the avenues, and early walkers move with purpose. The city stretches, preparing for another day that will hold millions of stories. As light reflects off skyscrapers, Manhattan glows, and the rhythm of life begins its steady pulse. By day, the streets become rivers of humanity. People from every corner of the world move side by side, speaking different languages, carrying different dreams, all sharing the same sidewalks. Office workers stride past street performers. Artists sketch in parks while tourists stare upward in awe. The city feels alive, as if it breathes through its avenues and exhales through its parks. Times Square captures the city's heartbeat in pure light. Giant screens flash constantly, casting color across faces from every nation. Here, time feels suspended. Day and night blur together, and the city's reputation as the one that never sleeps becomes undeniable. Yet only steps away, quiet side streets reveal a softer New York cafes tucked into corners, bookstores hiding behind old brick walls, moments of calm between the chaos. Central Park appears like a miracle carved into concrete. From above, it is a vast green rectangle, but from within, it becomes a world of its own. Paths wind through trees, bridges arch gracefully over water, and the sounds of traffic fade into birdsong and distant laughter. Skyscrapers frame the park like silent guardians, reminding you that nature and city exist here in perfect contrast. As afternoon fades, the city shifts again. Shadows stretch across buildings, and golden light paints the skyline. From observation decks high above the streets, New York reveals its full-scale bridges connecting boroughs, rivers reflecting the sky, and neighborhoods spreading endlessly toward the horizon. The view humbles even the most seasoned traveler. When night falls, New York transforms without slowing down. Lights ignite across the skyline, windows glowing like stars brought to earth. Music spills from theaters, restaurants fill with conversation, and streets pulse with renewed energy. Broadway marquees shine, and the promise of stories draws crowds inside. Elsewhere, jazz echoes from hidden clubs, and laughter drifts from rooftop bars high above the streets. Yet, what defines New York is not only its landmarks or lights, it is its spirit. This city has been built by dreamers, shaped by struggle, and strengthened by diversity. Every building stands on layers of history. Every neighborhood carries memories of those who arrived with nothing but hope. New York welcomes reinvention. Here, people come to become something new. Artists, entrepreneurs, creators, survivors. The city does not judge where you begin, it challenges where you choose to go. It rewards resilience and teaches endurance, offering opportunity to those willing to chase it. As the night deepens and the city continues to move, one truth becomes clear. New York is never finished. It is constantly evolving, reshaping itself through the lives of those who pass through it. And whether you stay for a lifetime or only a moment, the city leaves its mark. This is New York, loud, beautiful, relentless, and unforgettable. A place where millions of stories unfold at once, and where the journey has only just begun. Manhattan is often seen as the face of New York. Yet beyond the famous landmarks lies a deeper story, one told through neighborhoods, quiet streets, and layers of history hidden in plain sight. To truly understand Manhattan, you must slow down and look beyond the postcards. The island is a mosaic of worlds stacked side by side. In Lower Manhattan, the past feels close. Cobblestone streets wind through neighborhoods where the city was first born. Old churches stand beside towering financial buildings, reminding us that centuries of ambition and belief shaped this ground long before the skyline reached the clouds. The energy here is focused, purposeful, and intense, driven by the constant movement of global finance and commerce. Walking north, the city shifts again. Neighborhoods like Soho and Tribeca reveal another side of Manhattan: cast iron buildings, wide streets, and artistic roots that still echo through galleries and studios. Once industrial districts, these areas transformed into creative hubs, proving that reinvention is one of the island's strongest traits. Art, fashion, and design flow effortlessly through streets once filled with factories. Midtown rises like a monument to human ambition. Skyscrapers stretch skyward, each competing for attention, each carrying its own story. Here, Manhattan feels vertical. Life moves upward and inward. Inside offices, observation decks, and hidden spaces above street level. Yet even here, moments of calm exist: small parks, quiet lobbies, and cafes where time briefly slows. Further north, the city softens. Harlem carries a powerful cultural legacy, shaped by music, literature, and civil rights history. Its streets echo with creativity and resilience. Jazz once flowed from its clubs, poetry filled its halls, and movements were born that reshaped American culture. Today, Harlem continues to evolve, blending history with modern life while honoring its roots. Upper Manhattan feels residential, almost village-like in places. Tree-lined streets, historic buildings, and local shops create a sense of familiarity. Life here feels grounded, lived in, and personal. It is where the city breathes between its louder moments. Throughout Manhattan, architecture tells a silent story. From historic brownstones to glass towers, every building represents a chapter in the city's growth. Look closely, and you'll see details often missed: old fire escapes, carved stone faces, faded signs from another era. These details remind you that Manhattan is not just built for now, but layered with memory. Food offers another window into the island's soul. Tiny delis, street vendors, and family-owned restaurants serve flavors from around the world. A single block can carry the tastes of multiple continents. Eating here is not just nourishment, it is participation in a global exchange shaped by immigration and tradition. What makes Manhattan extraordinary is not only its scale, but its balance. Chaos and calm exist side by side. Wealth and struggle share the same streets. History and innovation walk hand in hand. Every corner offers a new perspective, a new rhythm, a new story. Manhattan does not reveal itself quickly. It rewards curiosity and patience. The more time you spend here, the more it unfolds, not as a single place, but as many worlds layered into one island. And once you see beyond the surface, you realize that Manhattan is not just the heart of New York, it is a reflection of the world itself. In the middle of one of the busiest cities on Earth, something unexpected happens. The noise fades, the pace slows, and nature quietly takes over. Central Park is not just a park. It is New York's breath, its pause, its green heart beating steadily between walls of concrete and glass. From the moment you step inside, the city feels distant. Trees rise overhead, paths curve gently forward, and the rigid grid of Manhattan disappears. The air feels different here, cooler, calmer, as if the park exists in its own dimension. Skyscrapers still surround you, but they no longer dominate, they simply watch from the edges, framing a living landscape that refuses to be rushed. Central Park changes with every season, and each transformation feels like a new story. In spring, blossoms fill the air with color and renewal. Summer brings deep greens, open lawns, and endless activity. Autumn turns the park into a canvas of gold and fire, leaves crunching beneath every step. In winter, snow softens everything, creating a quiet, almost magical world where the city seems to whisper instead of shout. The park is full of hidden moments. Bridges arch over still water, paths disappear into trees, and unexpected clearings open like secret rooms. Lakes reflect the sky and surrounding buildings, blurring the line between nature and city. Musicians play beneath tunnels where sound echoes beautifully, turning casual performances into unforgettable experiences. Every corner tells a different story. Runners move with purpose at sunrise, reclaiming the park before the city fully awakens. Families gather on the grass, children chasing pigeons, while laughter floats through the air. Artists sketch quietly, capturing scenes that change with the light. Tourists pause in wonder, realizing they've stepped into something far larger than a simple green space. Central Park is also deeply emotional. For many, it represents escape, a place to think, to heal, to breathe. Couples walk hand in hand beneath trees that have witnessed generations of love. Solitary benches offer space for reflection, where thoughts feel clearer and time slows just enough to matter. Despite its natural feel, Central Park is a masterpiece of design. Every hill, path, and pond was carefully planned to feel organic and effortless. It is proof that even in a city driven by speed and ambition, beauty can be intentional, and peace can be engineered without losing its soul. From above, the park looks like a perfect rectangle of green. From within, it feels endless. You can walk for hours and still discover something new. A statue half hidden by ivy, a quiet corner overlooking water, a sudden view where the skyline rises dramatically through the trees. As evening approaches, the park softens again. Light filters through branches, casting long shadows across paths. The city's hum returns slowly, not as an intrusion, but as a reminder that this oasis exists because of what surrounds it. The contrast is what makes it powerful. Central Park is where New York reveals its balance. It is where chaos meets calm, where ambition pauses, and where millions of people share the same quiet space without needing words. It belongs to everyone and no one at the same time. In a city defined by motion, Central Park stands as a reminder that even the most relentless places need stillness. And for those who walk its paths, sit beneath its trees, or simply pass through for a moment, it offers something rare, a sense of grounding in the middle of the impossible. As the sun rises over New York City, light spills across the East River, and one of the city's most iconic symbols comes alive, the Brooklyn Bridge. More than a crossing, this bridge is a living story, a connection not only between Manhattan and Brooklyn, but between New York's past, present, and future. Walking onto the bridge feels like stepping into history. The wooden planks beneath your feet echo with footsteps from more than a century ago. Workers, immigrants, dreamers, all moving toward possibility. Steel cables stretch upward like a web of strength, framing the skyline in a way no camera can truly capture. Every angle feels cinematic, every step filled with quiet power. From the bridge, New York reveals itself in layers. Manhattan rises ahead, sharp and commanding, a skyline shaped by ambition and imagination. Turn back, and Brooklyn stretches outward, creative, vibrant, and endlessly evolving. Below, boats glide across the river, reminding you that this city has always been shaped by movement. The Brooklyn Bridge is not rushed. Unlike the streets below, here people slow down. Cyclists pass smoothly, photographers pause endlessly, and travelers stop mid-walk, struck by a view they didn't expect to feel so deeply. The bridge invites reflection on how far the city has come, and how many stories still unfold within it every single day. As you descend into Brooklyn, the energy shifts. Neighborhoods like Dumbo greet you with cobblestone streets, converted warehouses, and sweeping waterfront views. The Manhattan Bridge frames the skyline perfectly here, creating one of the most photographed scenes in the world. But beyond the images lies a feeling creativity mixed with community, history layered with reinvention. Brooklyn itself is a universe of neighborhoods, each with its own rhythm. From historic brownstones to modern art spaces, the borough thrives on contrast. Cafes buzz with conversation, murals, color, brick walls, and local markets reflect cultures from every corner of the globe. This is where New York feels deeply personal, less polished, more human. Along the Brooklyn waterfront, the city breathes again. Parks stretch beside the river, offering uninterrupted views of Manhattan's towers. People sit quietly, watching the skyline glow as daylight fades. The water reflects the city like a moving mirror, reminding you that New York is always changing, never fixed in one image. At sunset, the Brooklyn Bridge transforms. Lights flicker on, cables glow softly, and the city shifts into evening. The skyline becomes dramatic, almost unreal, and the river darkens beneath it. Walking the bridge at this hour feels intimate, as if the city is sharing a secret only for those willing to slow down and look. The bridge stands as a symbol of connection between boroughs, cultures, generations, and ideas. It represents the courage to build something bold, the patience to see it through, and the vision to imagine a city united rather than divided. In New York, bridges are everywhere, but the Brooklyn Bridge is different. It doesn't just take you somewhere, it changes how you see the city. It reminds you that New York is not just about destinations, but about the journey between them. And as night settles in and the city lights shimmer across the water, the bridge remains steady, timeless, carrying millions of stories across its span, including yours. The heartbeat of New York City grows louder as we step into Midtown Manhattan, a place where ambition rises as high as the skyscrapers, and time seems to move faster than anywhere else on Earth. This is the New York the world imagines first, yet experiencing it in person is something entirely different. Times Square explodes into view like a living digital galaxy. Towering screens flood the streets with color and light, day and night blending into one endless moment. People from every corner of the planet stand beneath the glowing billboards, looking upward with the same expression of awe. Here, New York feels limitless. The energy is electric, chaotic, overwhelming, and unforgettable. But Midtown is more than spectacle. Just steps away from the neon rush, the city reveals its quieter power. Bryant Park offers a surprising pause green lawns framed by skyscrapers, where office workers, travelers, and artists share the same space. In winter, ice skates carve lines across the rink. In summer, chairs fill with conversations in dozens of languages. This contrast defines New York intensity, balanced by calm. Nearby, the New York Public Library stands as a temple of knowledge. Its marble facade and iconic lions guard stories that helped shape the modern world. Inside, silence carries weight. Wooden tables, glowing lamps, and endless shelves remind visitors that New York isn't only built on steel and glass, but on ideas, words, and imagination. Looking upward again, the skyline asserts itself. The Empire State Building rises with timeless confidence, a symbol of an era when dreams were measured in height. From its observation decks, the city stretches endlessly bridges, rivers, neighborhoods, blending into one vast organism. At night, the building glows, changing colors to reflect celebrations, seasons, and history in real time. Not far away, Rockefeller Center adds another layer to Midtown's identity. In winter, the famous ice rink transforms into a scene from a living postcard. During the holidays, the towering Christmas tree becomes a beacon of joy, watched by millions around the world. Above it all, observation decks reveal sweeping views that feel both thrilling and humbling. Then comes Fifth Avenue, a boulevard of elegance and ambition. Luxury storefronts line the street, their windows crafted like art exhibitions. Yet, even here, the true show is the people fashion. Icons, dreamers, tourists, and workers moving side by side, each chasing something different, yet sharing the same pavement. As day shifts into evening, Midtown changes again. Office lights flicker on, theaters prepare for curtain calls, and Broadway comes alive. The streets fill with anticipation as audiences gather, ready to be transported by stories told through music, movement, and emotion. Broadway is not just entertainment, it is New York's soul, speaking through performance. Inside the theaters, generations of stories unfold night after night. Applause echoes like a shared heartbeat, connecting strangers through laughter, tears, and standing ovations. Outside, the city waits, glowing, restless, alive. Midtown Manhattan captures the essence of New York's ambition. It is where dreams feel possible, where scale inspires courage, and where the city reminds you that no matter how crowded the streets become, there is room for one more story yours. As lights reflect off glass towers and the streets pulse with life, Midtown doesn't slow down. It simply invites you to keep moving forward. Eyes lifted, imagination open, ready for whatever comes next in the endless rhythm of New York City. The pace of New York shifts as we cross the East River and step into Brooklyn, a borough that doesn't try to impress, yet leaves a lasting mark on everyone who visits. This is where New York feels more personal, more creative, and deeply rooted in community, history, and reinvention. The Brooklyn Bridge welcomes you first, not just as a crossing, but as an experience. Walking across its wooden planks, Manhattan's skyline rises behind you like a moving painting. The cables stretch overhead in perfect symmetry, and every step feels like a transition between worlds. Below, the river carries ferries and reflections, reminding you that New York is always in motion. On the Brooklyn side, Dumbo reveals itself a neighborhood once industrial, now iconic. Red brick warehouses frame cobblestone streets, while the Manhattan Bridge forms a dramatic archway in the distance. This view has become one of the most photographed scenes in the world, yet standing here feels intimate, almost cinematic. Cafes, art studios, and quiet corners give Dumbo a calm confidence that contrasts beautifully with Manhattan's intensity. Just nearby, Brooklyn Bridge Park stretches along the waterfront, offering some of the best skyline views in the city. Families relax on the grass, joggers pass by, and visitors sit silently, watching the sun dip behind skyscrapers. At sunset, the skyline glows gold, then slowly turns blue as city lights flicker on like stars. Further inland, Brooklyn's neighborhoods unfold like chapters in a novel. Williamsburg pulses with creativity, street art splashes color across walls, vintage shops line the avenues, and music drifts from open doors. This is where trends are born quietly before taking over the world. Cafes double as workspaces, and conversations feel unhurried, thoughtful, inspired. In contrast, Brooklyn Heights feels timeless. Tree-lined streets and historic brownstones create a peaceful escape from the city's rush. The Brooklyn Heights Promenade offers panoramic views of Lower Manhattan, the Statue of Liberty, and the harbor beyond. Standing here, the city feels vast yet surprisingly calm, as if reminding you that even the busiest places need room to breathe. Culture thrives in Brooklyn in every form. The Brooklyn Museum and Brooklyn Academy of Music celebrate creativity across generations and continents. Performances, exhibitions, and festivals bring people together, proving that art here is not exclusive. It's shared, lived, and evolving. Prospect Park adds another layer to Brooklyn's identity. Designed by the same minds behind Central Park, it feels wilder, more natural. Open meadows, shaded paths, and a peaceful lake offer space to slow down. Locals gather here not to see and be seen, but simply to exist, reading, playing, laughing, and resting under open skies. As evening falls, Brooklyn's food scene comes alive. From classic pizzerias to global cuisine, tucked into quiet streets, every meal tells a story of migration, tradition, and innovation. Food trucks, neighborhood diners, and rooftop restaurants reflect Brooklyn's diversity, bold flavors shaped by generations. Brooklyn is not trying to compete with Manhattan. It doesn't need to. Its strength lies in authenticity, a place where creativity feels natural, where history is preserved without being frozen, and where the future is built thoughtfully, one idea at a time. As night settles in and the skyline glows across the river, Brooklyn stands confidently in its own light, a reminder that New York's magic doesn't live in one place alone, but in the balance between ambition and soul. As the city's rhythm deepens, New York reveals a different kind of wonder, one shaped by culture, performance, and the stories of millions told through art, music, and memory. This chapter takes us into the cultural heart of New York, where creativity isn't confined to galleries or stages, but flows through streets, voices, and generations. Broadway stands as the most famous symbol of this creative energy. Neon lights blaze against the night sky, marquees glow with promise, and crowds gather with anticipation. Stepping into a Broadway theater is stepping into a tradition over a century old. As the curtain rises, the outside world disappears. Music swells, voices soar, and stories unfold that make people laugh, cry, and reflect. Broadway isn't just entertainment, it's emotional storytelling on a grand scale. Just beyond the bright lights lies off-Broadway and off-Broadway, where experimentation thrives. Smaller theaters host daring performances, new voices, and bold ideas. Here, creativity feels raw and intimate, reminding us that art doesn't need spectacle to be powerful. New York's museums carry this storytelling into timeless spaces. The Metropolitan Museum of Art feels like traveling through human history in a single afternoon. Ancient temples, Renaissance masterpieces, and modern works exist side by side, connected by humanity's desire to create and remember. Every gallery whispers stories of civilizations long gone, yet still alive through art. The Museum of Modern Art shifts the perspective entirely. Bold colors, abstract forms, and revolutionary ideas challenge how we see the world. This is where creativity breaks rules, asks uncomfortable questions, and invites viewers to think differently. MoMA doesn't explain art, it asks you to feel it. Across the city, cultural identity shapes entire neighborhoods. Harlem stands as a living monument to Black history, resilience, and creativity. The echoes of the Harlem Renaissance still linger in poetry, jazz, and literature. Walking these streets, music feels woven into the air. The Apollo Theater remains a sacred stage, where legends were born and voices found courage. In the Lower East Side, immigrant stories define the landscape. Museums, preserved apartments, and narrow streets tell tales of struggle, hope, and survival. These stories remind us that New York was built not by a single vision, but by countless dreams arriving from distant shores. Music lives everywhere in New York. Jazz flows through underground clubs, hip-hop pulses from street corners, classical notes drift from concert halls, and subway musicians transform daily commutes into unexpected performances. The city doesn't just host music, it breathes it. Street art adds another layer of expression. Murals stretch across buildings, telling stories of protest, identity, love, and change. These artworks aren't hidden behind walls. They belong to everyone, turning the city itself into an open-air gallery. Even fashion becomes part of the culture. From high-end designers to thrift store creativity, New York style is less about perfection and more about expression. People dress not to fit in, but to be seen as they truly are. As night falls, cultural life continues. Poetry readings, film screenings, live comedy, and late-night conversations fill the city with voices that refuse to be silent. New York never sleeps because its stories are never finished. This is a city that creates, questions, and reinvents itself through culture. In every performance, painting, melody, and spoken word, New York reminds us that art is not separate from life. It is life, unfolding endlessly in the city that dares to express it all. The deeper you go into New York, the more the city begins to surprise you. Beyond the famous landmarks and iconic skylines lies a mosaic of neighborhoods, each with its own rhythm, soul, and story. This chapter uncovers the hidden wonders of New York places where everyday life reveals extraordinary beauty and where the city feels personal, authentic, and alive. Begin in Brooklyn, where creativity and community blend seamlessly. Tree-lined streets in Brooklyn Heights offer quiet elegance and historic brownstones, while just steps away, the Brooklyn Promenade opens to breathtaking views of Manhattan's skyline. As sunlight reflects off the East River, the city feels calmer here, almost reflective. In Williamsburg, art studios, indie music, vintage shops, and waterfront parks create an atmosphere that feels youthful and endlessly evolving. Murals cover brick walls, telling stories of identity, resistance, and imagination. Further south, Dumbo transforms old industrial spaces into cultural landmarks. Cobbled streets frame the Manhattan Bridge like a perfectly composed photograph. Beneath the arches, creativity thrives. Galleries, cafes, and performance spaces breathe new life into the past. As the sun sets, lights shimmer across the water, and the skyline becomes a living painting. Crossing into Queens, the city's most diverse borough, the world seems to converge. Languages blend, aromas travel from street food carts, and traditions from every continent coexist. In Astoria, Greek heritage lives on through family-run restaurants and lively cafes. Nearby, Astoria Park offers sweeping views of bridges stretching across the river, reminding you how connected this city truly is. In Long Island City, abandoned warehouses have become art centers and rooftop lounges. From Gantry Plaza State Park, Manhattan rises across the water like a futuristic dream, especially at night when skyscrapers glow and reflections ripple below. This perspective changes how you see the city, less chaotic, more poetic. The Bronx tells a powerful story of resilience and pride. Birthplace of hip-hop, its streets still pulse with rhythm and expression. Murals honor legends. Community gardens bloom between buildings. And music spills from open windows. The Bronx Zoo and New York Botanical Garden reveal a softer side, where nature thrives within city limits. Walking through these green spaces feels like discovering a hidden sanctuary. In Staten Island, a free ferry ride becomes one of New York's most underrated experiences. As the boat glides across the harbor, the Statue of Liberty appears, framed by open water and sky. The city fades behind you, offering a moment of calm that few visitors expect. Staten Island itself feels suburban and peaceful, a reminder that New York contains multitudes. Back in Manhattan, lesser-known neighborhoods reveal unexpected charm. In the Upper West Side, bookstores, quiet cafes, and historic apartment buildings create a timeless atmosphere. Greenwich Village feels intimate and artistic, with narrow streets, jazz clubs, and a spirit of rebellion that shaped modern culture. Soho blends cast-iron architecture with fashion and photography, where history and trend collide. Hidden gardens and rooftops add another layer of wonder. The elevated acre, tucked between skyscrapers, offers a quiet escape above the noise. Community gardens in the Lower East Side burst with color, nurtured by neighbors who transform small plots into shared dreams. Even the subway becomes a journey through hidden New York. Musicians perform with raw emotion, strangers exchange brief smiles, and life unfolds in fleeting moments underground. These experiences, often overlooked, define the true heartbeat of the city. This is New York beyond postcards, a city of neighborhoods, stories, and hidden corners waiting to be discovered. The deeper you explore, the more you realize that its greatest wonders aren't always the tallest buildings or brightest lights, but the human stories quietly shaping every block. As New York shifts from daylight to darkness, the city undergoes one of its most magical transformations. Night doesn't slow New York down, it unlocks another dimension, where lights, sounds, and emotions rise together. This chapter explores New York after sunset, when the city reveals its electric soul and unforgettable energy. As the sky darkens, skyscrapers begin to glow. Windows light up like constellations, each one holding a story. Times Square becomes a living spectacle, bathed in neon and motion. Massive digital screens pulse with color, crowds flow endlessly, and the air vibrates with excitement. Standing here at night feels like being inside the heartbeat of the world, where energy never fades and possibilities feel limitless. From above, the city feels even more breathtaking. Observation decks like Top of the Rock, One World Observatory, and Edge reveal New York as a sea of lights stretching endlessly into the distance. Bridges sparkle like threads of gold. Rivers reflect the city's glow, and the skyline feels infinite. In these moments, the city becomes both vast and intimate, reminding you how small yet connected everything truly is. The streets come alive with sound. Jazz clubs hum with soulful melodies, rooftop lounges echo with laughter, and underground venues pulse with bass and rhythm. From classic jazz in Harlem to indie music in Brooklyn, New York's nightlife offers something for every mood. Each venue carries its own atmosphere, some intimate and candlelit, others loud and raw, all united by a shared love for expression. Food becomes an adventure at night. Late-night diners serve comfort meals beneath glowing signs, while food carts steam with aromas of halal platters, hot dogs, and roasted nuts. In Chinatown, kitchens stay busy long after midnight, while in Koreatown, barbecue grills sizzle into the early hours. New York never asks when you're hungry, it simply feeds you. Broadway shines brightest after dark. Theater lights illuminate faces filled with anticipation. Applause spills onto the sidewalks as shows end, and conversations buzz with excitement and emotion. These performances don't end on stage, they linger in the streets, carried by people still moved by what they've seen. Along the waterfront, the city takes on a quieter beauty. Walking paths along the Hudson River offer peaceful reflections of the skyline. Couples stroll, joggers pass silently, and the city feels softer, more reflective. The sound of water against the shore creates a calming contrast to the chaos just blocks away. Bridges become symbols of connection under the night sky. The Brooklyn Bridge glows warmly, its cables forming elegant patterns above the river. Crossing it at night feels timeless, as if you're walking through history suspended between past and future. Even the subway changes after dark. Stations echo differently, performers play with deeper emotion, and commuters move with tired but determined expressions. It's a reminder that, while some chase dreams, others are returning from them, all sharing the same city. As dawn approaches, New York doesn't sleep, it breathes. Bakeries open early, delivery trucks roll in, and the first light touches the skyline. Night fades, but its energy lingers. New York after dark is more than nightlife. It's a feeling of freedom, intensity, and endless motion. A city that shines brightest when the world goes quiet, proving that its magic doesn't rely on daylight. It lives in every glowing window, every late-night step, and every dream still awake. This journey through New York, it's time to step back and witness the city as a living, breathing masterpiece, a place where ambition, history, culture, and human spirit converge in extraordinary ways. This is the New York that exists beyond maps, photographs, or guidebooks. A city that leaves an impression long after you leave its streets. The morning begins quietly in the neighborhoods beyond the skyscrapers. Brooklyn's brownstones glow in the soft sunlight, while Queens streets hum with daily life, parents dropping kids off at school, shopkeepers arranging their stores, and early commuters flowing toward Manhattan. In Staten Island, ferries carry workers and dreamers alike, their reflections shimmering on the water. Here, New York feels grounded, human, and tangible, a reminder that life pulses as strongly away from the tourist centers as it does in the heart of Midtown. Stepping into Manhattan once again, the city's energy becomes tangible in every corner. From Wall Street to Soho, neighborhoods tell stories of resilience and reinvention. Street performers, musicians, and artists remind visitors that creativity is not confined to galleries and theaters. It thrives on sidewalks, in parks, and beneath subway arches. Every street corner seems alive with possibility, every building a monument to both ambition and imagination. Nature intersects with urban life in surprising ways. Central Park, Prospect Park, and the High Line showcase New York's commitment to balance, creating spaces where people can pause, breathe, and reflect amidst a city that never stops moving. Lakes, gardens, and pathways offer calm, but they also frame the city itself as part of the experience, with towering skyscrapers forming a backdrop that shifts with the seasons and the light. Even New York's history feels alive. Landmarks like the Statue of Liberty, Ellis Island, and historic districts remind us of the city's role as a beacon for those seeking freedom and opportunity. Museums, memorials, and old architecture hold the memories of generations who built, struggled, and dreamed here. Every corner carries echoes of the past, yet every step also feels firmly planted in the present. Food, culture, and music continue to define the city's character. Immigrant communities have shaped New York into a global mosaic, with neighborhoods offering flavors, languages, and traditions from every corner of the world. Music from jazz to hip-hop, classical to indie flows through the streets and venues, reminding us that expression is inseparable from life in this city. As sunset approaches, New York transforms once more. Bridges, rivers, and skyscrapers catch the golden light. The city skyline reflects in water, streets glow under street lamps, and the rhythm of nightlife begins to rise. Broadway, jazz clubs, and rooftop bars pulse with energy, while quiet corners and parks offer moments of reflection. The contrast between chaos and calm defines the city's magic. From high above, one can see the vastness of the city bridges connecting boroughs, streets stretching endlessly, and neighborhoods layered like chapters in a living book. The scale is breathtaking, but it is the people who bring it to life. Dreamers, workers, artists, and wanderers, each carrying a story, each adding to the city's pulse. New York is not just a destination. It is a feeling, a collision of ambition, creativity, resilience, and endless possibility. It teaches patience and persistence, rewards curiosity, and challenges every visitor to see beyond the surface. It inspires, overwhelms, and comforts all at once. As night falls and the city glows under millions of lights, it becomes clear that New York never truly sleeps. Its stories continue to unfold, Its skyline continues to rise, and its energy continues to move, forever ambitious, forever vibrant. To explore New York is to witness a city alive in every sense, a place where every street, every park, every skyline view carries the promise of something extraordinary. New York is not only a city to see, it is a city to feel, to experience, and to carry with you long after you've walked its streets. In every moment here, you become part of its story, and it becomes part of yours. This is New York, relentless, unforgettable, and endlessly alive. As the journey through New York approaches its final moments, we begin to see the city not as a collection of landmarks, but as a living ecosystem, a place where neighborhoods, people, and cultures interconnect in ways that are both chaotic and harmonious. To understand New York fully, one must see it in layers, moving from the iconic vistas to the hidden streets where everyday life creates its own kind of magic. Walking through Lower Manhattan in the early morning, you can almost feel the history vibrating beneath your feet. Stone streets and historic buildings tell stories of centuries past, from Dutch settlers to waves of immigrants who transformed the city into a global powerhouse. Wall Street glows quietly before the market opens, its iconic architecture reflecting ambition and determination. Ferries glide across the rivers, carrying workers, tourists, and dreamers alike, linking boroughs in a daily rhythm as old as the city itself. Heading north, neighborhoods like Soho and Tribeca reveal a different pulse. Once industrial areas, they have transformed into creative hubs where art, design, and innovation converge. Cast iron buildings line the streets, hosting galleries, boutique shops, and loft apartments. Sidewalk cafes fill with people discussing ideas, sketching, or simply observing life passing by. It is in these streets that New York's spirit of reinvention feels most alive, proof that even old spaces can evolve into something entirely new without losing their soul. In Midtown, the city asserts its vertical ambition. Skyscrapers reach skyward, observation decks offer breathtaking views, and the streets hum with purpose. Times Square becomes a symphony of neon, screens, and motion. But amid the spectacle, small moments exist. A street musician playing a haunting melody on the violin, an artist capturing the city's light in watercolor, or a quiet cafe tucked between towering buildings where life slows for just a moment. New York is vast, but intimacy is never lost. It hides in corners, waiting to be discovered. The cultural heart of the city beats loudly in Harlem, the Bronx, and Queens. Harlem carries the legacy of the Harlem Renaissance, with jazz, literature, and civil rights history echoing in its streets. The Apollo Theater continues to inspire generations, hosting performances that honor both tradition and innovation. In the Bronx, murals celebrate local heroes and stories, while community gardens bloom amid the urban landscape. Queens, the city's most diverse borough, becomes a microcosm of the globe, a place where languages, flavors, and traditions intersect, creating a living mosaic of humanity. Food and flavor are inseparable from the New York experience. From the halal carts in Midtown to the authentic bakeries of Brooklyn and the seafood markets in Queens, every meal tells a story of migration, adaptation, and tradition. Street food, fine dining, and local markets coexist seamlessly, reflecting a city that welcomes all tastes and all people. Eating in New York is not merely nourishment, it is participation in a centuries-long conversation about culture, identity, and creativity. Even the rivers and bridges play their part. The Brooklyn Bridge, Manhattan Bridge, and Williamsburg Bridge connect more than neighborhoods. They connect histories, ambitions, and perspectives. Crossing them is both literal and symbolic, a journey between boroughs, past and present, reality and imagination. Ferries along the East River and Hudson offer perspectives that remind visitors how layered and interconnected the city truly is. As evening descends, New York transforms again. Skyscrapers glow, streets hum with nightlife, and parks soften in the fading light. The skyline reflects in the water, turning the city into a living painting. Music drifts from open doors and street corners, blending jazz, hip-hop, indie, and classical into a citywide soundtrack. Theaters, galleries, and clubs come alive, each space contributing to a city that never truly sleeps. By the time night is fully upon the city, the contrast between chaos and calm, grandeur and intimacy, history and innovation becomes clear. New York is not just a place to see, it is a place to feel, to move through, and to let shape your own story. Every street, park, bridge, and skyline view carries meaning. Every interaction and observation adds to the endless narrative of the city. In this part of the journey, New York reminds us that it is more than landmarks and attractions. It is a living, breathing organism, powered by ambition, culture, creativity, and the countless stories of those who inhabit it. To explore New York fully is to see beyond the surface, to immerse yourself in its layers, and to carry a piece of its energy with you long after you leave. The city doesn't just exist, it transforms everyone who walks its streets. As our journey through New York comes to a close, it's clear that this city is more than buildings, bridges, and streets. It's a living, breathing story shaped by millions of voices, dreams, and moments that blend into an experience unlike any other. Every skyline, every neighborhood, every hidden corner reminds us why New York continues to captivate the world. Whether it's the energy of Midtown, the creativity of Brooklyn, the culture of Harlem, or the serenity of the parks and rivers, New York leaves a mark on everyone who explores it. And while our tour may end here, the city never stops. There's always more to see, more to feel, more to experience. If you love this journey through New York, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a new adventure. Share your favorite New York moment in the comments below, and join us for more stunning travel stories from around the world. Remember, the world is waiting, and every city has its own magic. Until next time, keep exploring. Thanks for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed exploring Prague as much as I enjoyed guiding you through it. If you found this travel guide helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more beautiful destinations from around the world.